No, listen. I was just thinking about it because I was talking to. I met up with a lot of my friends when we went to New York. A lot of my friends who they have no idea. They go see movies. They don't know what's going on in this world, right? And I thought about a conversation that if I had with them, how ridiculous it would sound if I sat them and I said, "Do you know that people scream and yell at each other, and like send like really horrible messages to each other and have wars over what's better, DC or Marvel?"
About how they hope I die, how they hope I get AIDS and die because of my opinions on movies.
If I said, there are people that hang on every word waiting to see if you like a movie because they're going to call you a shill, or if you don't like it because do you know that people do that? My friend's like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody does that, you asshole.
Yeah.
No. It's movies. It's movies.
This is why I'm in a shitty mood today. This is exactly why. I'm fucking sick of it.
But I just can't believe it.
And I'm trying not to let it bother me.
But this is the thing. You're upset. I'm just baffled by it.
I'm baffled too.
I am baffled by it.
I'm both.
It's like what?
Jesus.
But it's like no. But it's just like what?
Thank you.
Like it's sad.
It's so sad. But here's the thing: movies and television, movies and TV are created. They're created to do a couple of different things: to inform, to entertain, to make you laugh, to make you feel, to make you cry, whatever
and
it is.
If it works for you, good. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Exactly.
And what the fuck is wrong with you?
And so then our jobs are to talk about which of those movies made us feel which things and which we think are worth viewing or not or whatever it is. And then you know what we do? We go home and we live our lives. And I'm not sitting there thinking, well, mother effing made that movie. I'm going to go get him. You're just, we're just giving, we just get to see everything. So we're telling people what we felt about that.
Can you imagine? Look,
that's all it is.
And look, the thing is, there are people though too. It's like, why not? If you have that kind of passion for, like, you have that kind of drive to like sit there and make a video about like, here's why we should boycott this movie. Enter politics,
right?
Like,
make a change for
whether
the
you're
better.
like right wing or left wing, whatever you're doing, like fight for something. Like, what are you going to boycott?
The Peace
anything?
Corps?
Like the whole,
I don't know.
Like the whole silly thing, like the whole thing that's going on with the. It's like, oh, we got to make sure Alita does well and not Captain Marvel. That's not going to do anything. Like, it's not going to do anything.
No,
it's like, there's nothing that you're going to do if you make
anything,
a video
you're
in front
hurting people's careers.
No, but it's not. But you're not. That's the thing. They think that they are. That the video. If someone makes a video to their 50,000 subscribers and goes, guys, don't see Captain Marvel. Go see Alita. What do you think that's going to do? That movie's going to make so much money, and it's going to you're screaming into a void. Yeah. Enjoy your life and just do something.
Get a dog.
You're allowed to dislike the movie. You can dislike. You can hate Marvel. You can hate it, but don't watch it.
Yeah.
You can hate DC. Don't watch it.
I can't get over how many death threats I get. I can't get over it.
It's
and honestly, I come on here all the time. I tell you guys, I degaff, like, whatever. I've got very thick skin, but like, people over my movie opinions, my opinions on movies, murder, rape, pillage, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, that shit's got to stop.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, but there are consequences.
But there's huge consequences.
I tweeted it out on Monday because somebody just said something offensive to me because I said that the New York Yankees, that Alex Rodriguez wasn't the best bat on the New York Yankees when they won the World Series that year.
How dare!
Right? And the guy just said, F. Makuga for thinking that A-Rod wasn't the best bat. Your opinions are fucking terrible. Fat boy, go fuck yourself. Like, I hope you fall off the top of Yankee Stadium and die. Right. So I blocked him.
Yeah, you're right. And that had nothing to do with the fact that he just doesn't like you.
He just doesn't like you.
It has nothing to do with anything
else. But that mean comment kind of ruined the rest of my day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And all the positive comments, and I tweeted out, I said, like, listen, go out and keep telling people they're doing a good job. Keep telling people that you like them. Keep telling, because that matters. That matters to people, because that one negative comment, you have no idea how much that hurts somebody's feelings.
Right.
If you watch the show Pen 15, I brought it up on here, I brought it up on TV Talk, we've talked about it. It is an absolutely fantastic show because it goes back to that awkward time of middle school and high school, and you see it all the time of, okay, when you and your brother are making fun of each other, you have that right. Because you're your brother, and you're your brother, right? Yeah. It's the brother.
Yeah.
But as soon as some a-hole bully in school starts beating you up or starts making fun of you for something and then spreads it around the school, that will ruin somebody's life. It will ruin their life forever. and they'll think about it forever, and they will constantly have a complex about it.
That's the question I have. Hey, angry asshole. Yeah, you angry asshole. The one who just did the horrible comment like 5 seconds ago, whoever you are, because you know there was one. The angriest asshole in there. Why are you so angry? Like, no, I legit want to know. Like when you write these things in here, like all the disgusting things that you wrote today, because you know who I'm talking about, 1 or 40 of you. When you do that, like I'm curious. Like, is it because you were you abused as a kid? I'm just curious. Were you picked on? Is this your only form of communication to the outside world because you don't like to talk a lot in school? And I'm not making fun of any of these people. No. This is stuff that certainly. I want to finish this for a second because I'm very curious. When you do these comments, like, I'm legit asking. I just unfortunately can't have a conversation with you. Like, just I would like to have this conversation with somebody who I knew is like angry. Like, what is it though? Like when you write these things, what's behind it? Like for real, and try, and if you can, like try to respond to that comment, that question with well, here's why I usually do this because I think this. I would love to see that, but there'll be insults and there'll be curses and there'll be things like that. And if you can get past that, great. If you can't, I legit would like to know like what happened because like, and I've said it a million times, you don't know what's going on in people's lives. You just don't. It's not an excuse, but you don't know why people are doing it. So,
I agree.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just don't like it because. Like, you name it, all the things you named. Hello.
I know.
Hello. So, but I'm not doing that stuff. And so I think that it's not, if you're saying, why are you so angry, then fine.
Or mean.
Yeah. Fine. And then you can comment about your hard life and what's happened to you. And it's not that I don't feel bad.
And Alex, look at some of the responses. I'm curious.
I will feel bad, but also you still get to wake up and choose to be better. Every day. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand the correlation of why we get to say this person had a hard life, they get a pass at being a dick.
No.
I'm not saying you're saying that.
Yeah.
But if you can admit out loud, I'm angry because I was abused, and that's why I'm telling you that I hope you die over your movie opinion. There actually isn't correlation between those things. That doesn't mean that's not transitive property. It's not A equals B equals C. So if you're thinking that and you are smart enough to admit out loud, that is why you're angry. Because by the way, I'm talking to my past self who was angry and who was a dick and who did say things like, "Well, this is what happened to me, so fuck you guys."
Right.
Try and stop that cycle because it doesn't have to be like that, and you can just not be a jerk. Sure. You could just not be a jerk.
What's confusing to me, though, is that when I was lashing out, I was lashing out against people who you in person personally attacked me. My anger was not directed towards other people. It was towards that person.
You're saying we did it on Schmoes?
Yeah.
Early on in Schmoes.
No, I'm just saying when I was a kid.
Oh, when you were
when I was a kid.
Oh,
so I wasn't going. I didn't.
Oh, I know what
and
you mean.
I think it's this. It is this world. It's this world of attention, of likes, of pokes and whatever. I mean, like if you say something shitty, like Roxy, go to hell, I'm gonna kill you. That guy got a lot of attention for that. So it's the world that's been created. Not forgivable at all.
Right.
But
everything
everything is so fucking polarized. We don't get in physical fights with each other. When I was a kid, somebody didn't like me, he punched me in the fucking face, and I bled and I cried with my mom, and that was it.
That's still happens too.
I would rather that though.
Exactly.
I'd rather get punched in the face all day.
That old adage, sorry, of like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, is the exact opposite.
Yeah,
the words stick with you forever.
Well,
they don't
stitches
think it
and
does.
broken
I agree.
bones.
I don't think they think it does. I think they think it's just
curious.
funny, or
Alex, was there anything in there like from the question I asked? Was obviously a bunch of just nonsense and jumbled bullshit, but anything that actually stood out?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people actually answering your question, but just other people explaining it could just be people wanting attention. It's just a sign of weakness. Hurt people.
That's what I mean.
What else gets attention is kindness.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the same kind of attention, and I totally agree with you, Brett. But I think people when they post down at Skid Row, giving clothes to people, whatever, that gets as many likes as go F your mother.
Oh, sure.
So if you want attention, I understand wanting attention. By the way, look at the career path I chose. I want attention. Right. Clearly, I'm sitting here on the mic. I have
no idea what you're talking about.
If you're in this room, you're at least willing to get the attention.
Follow me on Instagram.
So I understand that. I get wanting that.
Still available.
But if you don't know that positive things actually get good attention, this is me telling you that they do.
Yeah,
I would say they get less. I would say that. I'd say the news. Hey, look at the news. Are the positive stories? Weed through them. Is it always?
We focus on it, but no.
News.
If you look at like there's videos. Look for example. This is the lighter side of things. I saw there was a dog that was calling out because its puppy. There's like Brazil or somewhere, right? And its puppy was hurt. Like I don't know what happened to it, but it couldn't move, and the mother was screaming out like. And these people came in, and they were very gentle. They moved in, and they were like massaging the dog. Then they took the dog away from the mother. The mother trusted it to happen. And then I think like a couple of weeks, and they came back and they healed up the dog, and they had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of likes and shares. And there are. Look, this is the thing that there is, and I said this before, and I say it every fucking day. For as many shitheads that the good people are on the internet. There are a lot of good people.
I'm not saying there are. I'm not saying there are.
Of you guys.
How often are we having conversations about good things happening? True. We're having this conversation more than the other ones.
No, I know. That's
right.
No,
I mean, no, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Well, no,
I
think we're talking about creation a lot more. I think we're talking about creating movies and news and things that are happening. But he's talking about
social media in general. What makes the most impact is the awful feeling that you get from what people can do, and whether it's, and that's why social media bullying is such a big thing too. But like I said, there are things that I think that, and I've gotten this message before too, and I got it recently, and it was to my Facebook the fan page, and someone wrote, "Hey, look, I handle things very poorly. I was angry, and I tweeted out at you guys, and I was upset, and it was me." And there were things that I apologize. I'm a different person now, and I don't need you to say thank you or need you to forgive me. But I just wanted to get off my chest. And I unblocked the guy, and I said, "We're human. I get it, and it's not an excuse. But when you can, there is some kid, man, woman, someone out there watching right now who just tweeted or wrote something to us very awful." And they're doing one. They just have hate in them, right? There's other people that are doing it because they're angry. There are other people, and again, everything that you said, I agree with.
100%.
That it's not saying that they should have done it, but they did it.
Oh, I know.
And inside of that, I guarantee that one of those people would, if they examine themselves outside, say, well, why did I do that? Like, why did I just write that as opposed to, hey, I have difference of opinion. I just wonder if it can change. Yeah, it is a difference of opinion. I wonder if it can be changed. But like there are other people sometimes. Like when you go back and forth with someone on Twitter and you have a conversation with them, there are some you can tell there are some people who are willing to have a conversation. There was a certain conversation I had with a guy not too long ago that he had said something about the Schmodown. I blocked him right away because I got pissed off. Right then. And I saw you, and then he made a couple of videos like mocking the Schmodown. And I said, "Look, this guy used to be a fan." So then I reached out to the guy, and I said, and then we had a conversation, like a legit conversation. You can feel somebody out when you're talking to somebody if they just want to be a dick, or they would say, "No, let's talk." This guy was like, "Let's talk." We figured out he came to the New York event, and he was there at the New York event, and we shook hands, and I laughed, and I looked at it. We said truce, and we laughed. It happens. It's part of it because it's also another thing too. Whether it's us or whoever you're watching, it doesn't seem human to you because it seems like we seem like characters to people on a show. So when they're like, oh, I can write whatever I want. I'll never meet this person, but it's the same person that comes up to you when they do see you. They go, I'm a fan. They go, shit, maybe I shouldn't have wrote that.
Sometimes in back-to-back messages, I have this one guy who's been DMing me on Facebook for years. Like, you're a psycho piece of shit. I can't fucking believe that you said that. Blah, blah. And then the next one's like, hey, it's my birthday next week. Can you give me a shout-out on air? In this back-to-back messages.
I have a funny feeling I know who that is.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
sorry, Roxanne.
What?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Right.
I on the flip side of this, right? All the people that do awesome things for us on this show, like Thrawn and David. What's the guy's name? David B.
Yeah.
The people that do that get so much more attention.
Yeah, on this show we talk about David B. and Thrawn all the time.
Some troll that just screams at us.
That's what I'm saying. Create.
Do something awesome.
Become a part of. Yeah, become a part.
I may have said it in the wrong context, and we were all yelling at each other. But be better.
Right.
Yeah. Just be better.
Yeah, but it's again that was the point to where when I was looking at. Now this is going back exactly the same conversation that you and I had before we started
20
this
minutes
show.
before the show.
And it's the same thing. Like I said, I'm not telling anybody inside of that Facebook group that they need to be wrestling fans. But don't hit your chest and go, well, great, you keep talking about it, I'm not going to watch it. Well, good. Get out.
I would say 6 of my best friends in this world live for wrestling.
But I mean, but the wrestling conversation aside, what I mean is, don't just be a dick. Like you can do, there's a ways to you can say, okay, well look, I'm glad that they had mentioned that because the time goes, wrestling's not for me, so I'll probably move on. Then you see that and you go, well, that's respectful.
Great.
And this is a lighter conversation as opposed to stuff that you're talking about. But I'm just saying, people, you either want to try to change yourself or you don't. But anyway,
well, and I just want to just say what I was trying to say. I'm not saying I think it's a good thing that we polarize the bad things, but I guarantee if you go back to all the shows, we've talked about people saying shitty things more than we have about the good things that happen because they are polarized. And then I'm going to difference of opinion.
Fine.
I think we give these people we post when kids go shoot up schools. That
you're not
story.
You're not talking about us specifically.
Oh no,
us
or anybody. Us too.
Well, I think we were playing a lot of songs
but people shoot up schools or something like that. That's on the news forever. The one kid that does a nice thing, it's like, faith in humanity restored for 30 seconds, and then we're on to the next shitty thing that happened.
No, that's an issue.
It's a polarization of the shitty stuff.
I understand where you're going with that, and I think that, and then when you turn on the nightly news, my wife only watches it for the weather. For some god awful reason, she still doesn't check her phone to just say, "What's the weather like in 90?"
It gives it to you hour by hour. Yeah.
She loves watching
Dallas
the weather
Reigns.
on whoever it is, right? But we have got to sit through murder for 20 minutes. Yeah. That's all it is. A guy was walking his dog in the park and his head blew up.
Yeah.
It's like everything. It's like 6 squirrels murdered a guy. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Because it's Nightcrawler.
Or
exactly.
Is your favorite restaurant covered in E. coli?
No,
it's important to know what's happening in the world, though. That's talking about burying your head in the sand.
Let
me explain what I'm going to say first.
Yeah.
When Brett was talking about us, about people talking about positive things less often than negative things, I thought he was referring to the show. I don't think we do this on this show, is when I said no. When you're talking about the world, I think that it's important that positive things get shown more often, and I don't think they're shown enough. But I don't think that means that we can't talk about all the murder that's going on.
You should.
Because we should.
You should. But what I'm saying is, when you watch the nightly news, every story.
That should be the blip.
There needs to be a mix. No, look, there's writers where you should also shine a light.
It shouldn't be 90-10.
No, you should shine a light. You should shine a light and say, look, this happened. This poor family. You should shine a light on that stuff. But it's all about, because it's those stories that people tune in, and it's just like your eyes are open, and you're like, oh, it's Nightcrawler. It is Nightcrawler. That's what does the ratings.
And particularly the shooting thing, they've proven that's why that is a thing. That's a stardom thing. These kids are thinking, if I do this, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be famous for doing this horrible thing. Well, that's big because that's played all the time, and then you get an occasional one of the basketball player that helps the kid in school or whatever.
I'm a fan of not, and especially being from Boston, obviously the Rolling Stone cover with the Boston Bomber on it crushed everybody I knew. Right. But I'm a fan of not giving these people platforms, not saying their names, not showing their pictures. Yeah. But I do think that the victims, I think they deserve to be shown.
Exactly. I'm saying don't show me this kid's face ever again.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
They shouldn't even bring up who. Look, authorities know who he is.
You are nobody now.
Yeah.
These people that you hurt are the people. And that's what I'm.
Authorities know who it is. They've been, and that's it.
I don't want their names out there.
They know why they did it, and they're handling it. It's great. Anyway.